Something that said, take a look at what happened.
Tomorrow marks 1 year since President Trump narrowly escaped death when Thomas Matthew Crooks fired 8 shots at him in Butler, Pennsylvania. Videos prior to the attack show the would-be assassin climbing onto a roof to prepare for his shot. Now, a new report from the Government Accountability Office is highlighting the failures of the Secret Service that day. The agency was aware of a potential threat days before the shooting, but failed to properly share that information with law enforcement. We're also learning that the Secret Service's drone was not working that day, and the person operating it had almost no training on how to use it or fix it, allowing Crooks to fly his own drone and survey the site. Secret Service Director Sean Curran responded to the report, saying he has reviewed the GAO's report and is committed to implementing all of the recommendations made and making substantive reforms to address the failures of that day. The president reflected on the shooting in a sit-down with Lara Trump.
Well, it was unforgettable. I didn't know exactly what was going on. I got whacked. There's no question about that. And fortunately, got down quickly. People were screaming, and I got down quickly, fortunately, because I think they shot 8 bullets. Our sniper, within less than 5 seconds, was able to get him from a long distance with 1 shot. His name is David, and he did a fantastic job.
President Trump also says he's satisfied with the investigation.
So they briefed me numerous times, the FBI, the Secret Service, sort of everybody. DOJ, I'm satisfied with it. They should have had somebody in the building. That was a mistake. They should have had communications with the local police. They weren't tied in. And they should have been tied in. So there were mistakes made. But I was satisfied in terms of the bigger plot, the larger plot. I know the people, and they're very talented, very capable. They had a bad day, and I think they'll admit that. They had a rough day.
While the president survived the attack, one man in the crowd unfortunately lost his life. Corey Comparator was killed protecting his family during the shooting. Corey's family and several other survivors are still demanding answers.
You have officials noting that this guy's walking around with a rangefinder. That would be enough in any other circumstance to put him in protective custody for at least a while. That, I believe, was overlooked.
I noticed there was flaws as soon as I walked in there. Lack of counter snipers on rooftops.
We have the same questions that everybody else does. Why, when they were saying that there's someone on the roof and he has a gun, why did they march President Trump out on that X?
Joining us live is host of My View, Lara Trump. Lara, thank you for joining us. Great interview. Cannot wait to watch that. But, I think my question to you is, just like the Comparator family, what questions does your family still have about this?
Well, it's one of the first questions I asked my father-in-law when we sat down for this very special interview. I said, why is it that it feels like right after this incident, we saw so many members of Congress, we saw constant movement there in Butler and people saying, we want to get to the bottom of this, we want to get information. And I think the American people kind of feel like we're still waiting for a lot of that. As you heard from the president himself there, though, Griff, he says he's satisfied with the information he's received. Whether or not we, as an American public, get all of that, I don't know yet. But I'll tell you, from a family perspective, this is a very big deal. This is a day that changed all of our lives. This is a day that could have turned out very differently for all of us. We are so grateful. Obviously, it didn't. I'm grateful as a family, grateful as a country. But as you noted, one man did lose his life, and I can't imagine that his family is totally satisfied at this point. There were mistakes made. That has been acknowledged. And I will tell you this, that the current Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, as he says there in his response to that report being out, has made huge changes. The mistakes that were made, I do not think will ever be made again. I do think it was a big lesson learned at a very high expense, but I think we're fortunate as a country and really as a world that it wasn't an even greater expense.
Lara, David here, and this is one, your point's well taken about the family who lost Corey's family and others who were victims of the shooting, along with the president. But for the family, for you, for the entire family, this is a large family, and the security architecture, what's around you now, is significant. And it's not a cost question. It's more about what it's like for your family to now have that expanded security, because there are people that are committed on the left, or at least carrying on the rhetoric that for some reason Trump is evil and must be removed, fascist or some other ist or ism.
Yeah, you're right. Our entire family is protected by the United States Secret Service. And, David, we did have it during the first term as well. I think that's part of the standard protocol for any presidential family. But yeah, look, there's a lot of heightened rhetoric out there as it relates to my father-in-law, as it relates to Trump supporters. Obviously, you guys just opened this whole show talking about law enforcement. And sadly, it's sort of the nature of the beast. It's sort of the time that we're in right now. I hope that we're able to move past this time. I hope that at some point people realize we're all Americans. We all want the same thing, a great life for our families, safety and security, the ability to, provide for our children a better life than we had. But it is sad that we live in a time where you do have to think about these things. We feel very protected, though. I will tell you, as a family, there's no question about that. We're very grateful for the men and women who are with us every single day, and obviously the folks who are with my father-in-law and Melania as well. They do a great job, and they serve this country very proudly.
Lara, Lauren Simonetti here. Your father-in-law continues to face these ongoing threats, including from former FBI Director James Comey. His 8647 social media post is seemingly a call for violence against your family. The Secret Service took the threat seriously, reportedly had Comey followed and tracked his cell phone. But since that post, the president has faced even more threats against his life. And other lunatics, quite frankly, have been inspired by Comey's post, including one in Florida who allegedly threatened to kill or 86 Alina Habba. Several other members of the administration and even your brother-in-law, Don Jr., have also received death threats. Laura, this is a lot to deal with. How does your family deal with this?
Yeah, well, Lauren, sadly, this is nothing new for our family. I can't tell you the number of times that I've opened an envelope that's had white powder or something horrific written in it. It kind of comes with the territory. We don't always broadcast that out there for everyone. But again, I think it kind of goes back to the moment we're in right now, and what a disgusting thing that was that James Comey did. He knew better than that. And I think it was shameful and really absurd to see someone, with his background do such a thing, as has been acknowledged by many people. But this sort of thing shouldn't happen to anyone. I don't care your politics, Republican, Democrat, Independent. No one in America should have to face this sort of threat level. I think it's ridiculous, but it kind of has come with the territory, certainly for our family and certainly anyone around the president. Think back to the first term, whenever you had folks like Maxine Waters, Lauren, who were out there saying, if you see someone from this administration, create a crowd, get up in their face. You have Karen Bass out there actively seeming to encourage people to fight against federal officers. This is unacceptable. This should not be happening to a Republican, a Democrat, or anyone else in the United States of America. So I certainly hope that we see calls for all of this to stop from both sides of the aisle.
Hi, Lara, it's Alicia, and it's so good to talk to you. We haven't been able to talk since we sat on this very set together, so thank you so much for doing this. My question to you has to do with a year ago this weekend. Immediately after, we saw Republicans and Democrats go to the mics and say that there was no room for political violence. They condemned what happened to your father-in-law and our president. However, a year later, at the top of this show, we were just discussing how ICE agents right now, while trying to do their jobs, are being attacked by fireworks. They're being shot at. They have rocks being thrown at them constantly, are under considerable threat on a daily basis. Yet we do not see prominent Democrats who condemned political violence at the time of the attempted assassination coming out today saying this is also political violence and condemning it. What do you say to that?
Yeah, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves, Alicia. Like I just said, this should not be happening in our country. These men and women in law enforcement have an incredibly tough job to do. It would be a tough job just at face value, but then you compound that with the fact that you have Democrat leaders right now who seem to encourage this, and to your point, people who are very silent. The silence is deafening on the left whenever it comes to what we're seeing happening to our federal agents all across this country. No one should be facing this sort of violence. No one should be facing an inability to do their job because you have, riots and all kinds of activity that is dangerous and life-threatening to these folks who are literally just trying to do the job and trying to enforce the laws that are on the books here in the United States of America. So it kind of goes back to my last answer. I would like to see people stepping up, step back up to those mics, get back out there and tell people to stop it. This is unacceptable. They have a job to do. They are well within the law to do what they are doing. It is written in our law. And if they have a problem with it, they ought to take it to the United States Congress to change the laws here in America.
Yeah, such a good point. You're exactly right. These are just federal immigration law enforcement officers carrying out federal immigration law. Lara Trump, thank you for joining us. Can't wait to watch your interview tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You can catch her amazing interview with President Trump airing tonight on My View with Lara Trump at 9 p.m. Eastern right here on Fox News.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.